Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we have this 2013 Toyota Prius and we have a little bit of a strange problem with this car. We have the air conditioning is not working. So the customer brought me this car after a head gasket replacement by an amateur mechanic. And it had an engine problem, which I found was a loose vacuum line. That was an easy fix, 5-minute thing. But the AC was not working as well. So first thing I did was scan the vehicle for codes, and I found two pretty concerning issues just right off the bat. I found a B1498 code, which is a loss of communication to the AC compressor, and I found a high voltage leak code as well in the battery control module. So what we have here is a compressor that is not working. I have confirmed that it is not working. The air conditioning is not working on this car. So first, let's talk a little bit about how the AC compressor works in this car. This is an electric compressor. It is a direct current compressor, and it runs directly off of the inverter in this car. So what that means is there's no belt, there's no clutch. The compressor can be spun up to how many RPM it needs to be spun up for making sure that the passengers and the driver are comfortable in the car. And this is all controlled by the climate control module and, of course, via the battery control module, which makes all the decisions as far as how the high voltage in this car runs. So this AC compressor has two electrical systems. It has the high volt system that comes off of the inverter, and this is protected by a large sand-filled fuse that's inside the inverter. And of course, it has the control side, which is 12-volt operated. You have a 6-pin connector on top of the compressor that does all of that control. So what we have here, compressor not working, and for some reason we have a high voltage leak. Now, a couple of different things that can cause this. Of course, a connection problem, maybe something's wrong with the connector or something's wrong with the insulation. It's basically an insulation fault. For some reason, the car is putting out more power than it should, and so the car is going to count this as a high voltage leak. So normally with high voltage leaks, when you have it with MG1 or MG2 or the battery, any of the battery cables, any of the high voltage systems in this car, you'll get the red triangle of death and the car will shut completely down. I'm kind of surprised that this didn't happen, which means it's got to be a very small high voltage leak, and it's got to be very low amperage, or it's got to be a fluke somewhere in the system. So I started to kind of pick this car apart, and I'm going to show you guys how I came up to what's actually happening with this vehicle. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is we have to make this car safe to work on. So I went ahead and pulled everything out of the trunk, and we are going to do two things to make sure that this car is safe to work on. We are going to go ahead and disconnect your battery disconnect here. And I have if you don't understand how to do that, I'll put a link to the video where I show that. And we're also going to disconnect the negative post of the 12-volt battery. The reason why we do both is the 12-volt system controls the high voltage system. It controls power to the contactors. Now, just because we have this unplugged and we have the battery unplugged does not mean it's safe. So I'm going to show you guys when we go into the inverter, because what we're going to do is we're going to check that fuse that powers the compressor and see if that fuse is viable or not, or if the fuse is blown. If the fuse is blown, we definitely have a short somewhere, so we'll be able to kind of figure out what's going on with that. We just need to see if the fuse is blown or not. And to do that, we have to open up the inverter. So there are going to be high voltage points in this inverter opening where you can get hurt if the car was powered on and some of the safety systems failed here. So okay, so once I get the car unhooked with the safety plug and the battery, I'm going to wait for about 10 minutes, at least 10 minutes. And then I'm going to come up here to the inverter here, and I have 10mm bolts holding the inverter on. I've got them out. Once we get this cover off, there will be high voltage circuits that are present underneath this cover. So the first thing we're going to do is measure for voltage. And you don't need to be using your Harbor Freight meter for this, so I'm going to use my Snap-on meter. And we're just turning you know, since the car's off, we're gonna be looking for direct voltage anywhere. And I'm going to put my lineman gloves on just to make sure that nothing is gonna go wrong. It's just an extra precaution, guys. And we will take this cover off. Now this cover has a special plug on it. This goes to the proofing circuit. So this is a 12-volt circuit that runs through every high voltage electrical connection in the car. And what it does is if it sees that this is disconnected, like I just took this cover off, it will electronically lift the contactors up for the car. The only way this wouldn't work is if I had a contactor that was welded shut, something like that, and a contactor. So if that happens, there's really nothing we can do to shut it off. So this is why we're testing for voltage at this point. Right here is the fuse that we'll be removing and doing a resistance check to see if it is faulty or not. This goes to the compressor. It is a sand-filled fuse. It's about 50 bucks if it needs to be replaced. You can get it from Parts Geek. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ground to the inverter case, and then I'm just running my meter here. And the measurements in millivolts here is probably just the air itself. So I don't see any voltage present here, so it should be safe to touch at this point with our bare hands. I'm going to go ahead and take my gloves off. If you work on Prius, Tesla, anything like this, you definitely need a pair of lineman gloves. They're kind of expensive, but less than an emergency room visit or a funeral, so definitely worth it. So at this point, I'm going to take my 8 millimeters off here and remove this fuse. Be careful not to drop the bolts. I just use a magnet for the 8 millimeter bolts, put those off to the side, and we'll pull this fuse out. So this fuse is a sand-filled fuse. The sand in here is for cooling. There is quite a bit of amperage that runs through here. You definitely want to use the Toyota fuse. And so we are going to hook our meter here to resistance. And we're going to measure the resistance here, and we should get nothing if it's a good fuse, and we do. 0 resistance here, 0.1, 0.0 ohms here. So the fuse is good. So we don't have a major short in this system. We just have a small voltage leak somewhere. When I first looked at this vehicle, it was a little bit confusing. So what we need to do now is just inspect the connections going to the compressor and just make sure there's no cuts in the insulation or anything like that. So visual inspection from here on out on this problem. So what I'm doing real quick is I'm just getting this air box, snorkel, and resonator out of the way. I took the top of the air box off. You don't even have to unplug the mass airflow meter if you don't want. Just set the box over. You have 2 10s here, 1 10 there, and then 2 10s here, 10 millimeter bolts to take out. And then we're just going to remove this, and this is going to give us a straight shot to the compressor wiring. We don't have to get under the car or anything. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I found here. And I'm kind of going to explain what happened. This is our compressor right here. And this is our big orange cable that goes up to the inverter and to that fuse. So what I found here, let's adjust, is we have this right here is our low voltage side. We have a 6-pin connector right here. And I'm going to put pictures up here to show you what the connector looked like. Now I've cleaned the connector and I put this car back together just to see if I could get the compressor to work. but it still doesn't. And what has happened is water has protruded into this plug and gotten into the electrical part of this compressor. And that has caused this to corrode up. And it also has caused, since water is conductive, a high voltage leak. So I'm gonna take you over here to my trainer and show you the inside of this compressor and what happened. So this is my cutaway trainer on the Prius. And you can see here, this is where that black cable is that goes into the top of the compressor. And of course, this is the high voltage side. But water has leaked through that black housing and has gotten down into the electrical part of the compressor. And of course, since water conducts electricity, that's where our voltage leak is. That's my theory. So what we are going to do is we are going to replace this compressor. And of course, that takes special compressor oil. That takes the POE ND11 Toyota oil, which is really expensive. And we're going to replace this compressor, clear the codes, and just see what happens after that. I will have a video on compressor replacement on this, and I will put in the description of this video. But that's what it looks like to me. So if you're looking for a high voltage leak on these cars, and your car is still running and operating, it is probably coming from the compressor side of your high voltage system. The car is still operating fine, except for the air conditioner is not working. So, you know, what we're going to do is we're going to replace the compressor, and I'm also, since the end of the connector was corroded so much, I don't feel right without replacing that connector as well. So I got the connector, the compressor, and the oil coming from Amazon, and I will send the links to you down in the description of this video, and of course the next video when I'm going to do the actual compressor removal and replacement. So I hope you enjoy this video. If you have any questions, you can leave them down in the comments. This is a pretty rare problem. I don't expect a whole lot of people to have this problem, but sometimes a lot of my videos are on rare stuff, and they're the only ones out there on YouTube. So if you like this video, if you're interested in Prius or high voltage, Tesla, Chevy Volt, things like that, this is what I do every day. I am a EV instructor at a technical college down in the South, so I do have a little bit of experience with this stuff, and I'd love to share it with you. We'll see you next time on Auto Scholar with Mr. B.